Kwame Somburu. And this is really a great birthday present for me. You don't know how. I've been active since the early 1960s. I was present when Malcolm X was killed. I was at the March on Washington in 1963. I toured Mississippi, Alabama, etc., and other countries. And seeing something like this is the month that I'm 77 years old. This is a birthday present for me. Believe me. And I want to applaud everyone out here. We all have a common goal, which is to change things, to make things better. Now, we have certain differences over how that will come about, but I'm sure when we have our democratic discussions over a period of time, we'll eventually form a unified plan. It is the capitalist system of oppression. This government was founded on lies and hypocrisy and crime. If it wasn't for crime and terrorism and massacres and robbery, there'd be no United States. They massacred the indigenous people around this country and stole their land. They had concentration camps that they called slave plantations. Later on, they had concentration camps that they called reservations. And then what they did here is what they're doing now around the world is a continuation of what they've done here. This government was founded as a conspiracy. 55 privileged white men held a secret meeting behind closed doors in the spring of 1787 in Philadelphia to discuss a constitution. No poor whites were there, no women were there, no African were there, no Native Americans were there. They had armed guards at the door. And then they lied to us in school to tell us this is our constitution, no, it's their constitution. What I would like to see come out of this movement one day, maybe in 6 months, a year, whatever, is when we have our convention to develop our constitution that represents us. I call this the United States of criminal insanity. The people that own and run this country, they are criminally insane. They have their definition of crime. And we have to have our definition of crime. The criminals run the country. They're not in jail. And it doesn't matter who wins the election because one person can't stop it. One person didn't start it. This problem existed before George Bush. It existed before Obama. They both support the same system, but they have you in a sucker trap that you vote for this one against that one. If someone punching you in the fist, you don't hold out a finger. What we need is a unified fist, locally, nationally, internationally, against them. Totally, unconditionally. And also the government, there's democracy for them because it's their government. It's democracy for them. When we have our government, then we have democracy for us. This is their government. It's a government of the rich, by the rich, and for the rich. A government of criminals, by criminals, and for criminals. Remember that. And the people who are in prison today, they are the victims. Because if they lived in a much healthier society, in many ways, they wouldn't have been doing some of the things that some do. And anyway, it's a long story to go into. I could talk this for a long time, but they are the criminals, not us. We are victims of the most criminal government in world history. The most materialistic, the most lying, the most hypocritical, and I and other people I know will debate anybody on that and take them apart.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. How's everybody doing tonight? I said, how's everybody doing tonight? Yo, when I say occupy, y'all say the hood. Occupy. Occupy. When I say occupy, y'all say Boston. Occupy. Occupy. I want to tell you a story about Occupy Boston. How did we do it? How did we start the occupation that has now been going on for weeks in Dewey Square? We came together just like this. All kinds of people in the common, at the gazebo. We split into groups. We had a legal team, a medical team, a food team, and one team called Tactical. And that team was to decide where we should occupy. What we decided that night in a mass meeting just like this, we decided that we would occupy Dewey Square because that's where the Federal Reserve Bank is, Bank of America, all the financial institutions that run the city and run the world. And so we decided that on the first night, but we couldn't decide when to start the occupation. So we said, let's meet again the next night. It was a Tuesday, so we met the very next night on Wednesday. And then we debated and discussed, should we begin it sooner or later? Should we begin it this Friday, which was in 2 days, or a week from this Friday? and we had a big debate. And what we basically decided was to start it sooner, because we can't wait. Justice can't wait. If you have a question about that, you can look up Martin Luther King in his letter, Why We Can't Wait, because justice deferred is justice denied. So we said we're going to start that Friday. We had one more night between Wednesday and Friday, Thursday night. We got all the committees together again to plan the occupation. The food committee, the medical committee, the legal team, the tactical team, to plan everything. And then Friday night we massed in Dewey Square. We had something like 2,000 people that very first night in Dewey Square. And basically we just went from there, and everybody started bringing stuff. People started bringing tents, people started bringing food, people started bringing supplies, people started donating their labor, their time, their energy, and we just started, and we've been going ever since. So what I want to talk about is what we're doing right here, because if y'all would sit down, let me offer you the opportunity. If you want to sit down, you should sit down now, because that's what we do. Well, my legs get tired. If you don't want to sit down, that's cool. But we are basically occupying the hood right now. We didn't get permission to all come en masse here. We came here of our own choice, and we're basically occupying this park right now. And when I look across the crowd, I'm so excited because I see people from all different backgrounds. And I see people raising their voice from all different backgrounds. Blacks people raising their voice, Latino people raising their voice, Arabs and Asians and whites raising their voice, Muslims, Christians, atheists raising their voice. I love to see that. Women raising your voice. That's exactly what this movement is all about, and we got to keep building it. I'm just gonna skip ahead to point out one other thing, which is that this is a worldwide movement. A worldwide movement. We have over 2,000 cities. 2,000 cities across the world. Countries like Brazil, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, South Africa, India, China, Korea, Japan, Italy, France, Germany, Ireland, Australia. Occupy London started this Monday, 5 days ago. They had 200 tents on the first night occupying the London Stock Exchange. This is a worldwide movement. But it's not just worldwide, it's across this country. Last weekend, I went to Cleveland. I saw Occupy Cleveland. I went to Pittsburgh. I saw Occupy Pittsburgh. They were 2 days old, and they were still figuring out what to do, but they had people in the square. We went to Canton, Ohio, rural Ohio. There was an occupation there. This movement is across the country. Across the country. I just want to finish by saying, if you, I for one will join with anyone who wants to change the condition on this earth, including setting up tents and occupying right here in the square, right here in the hood, occupying the hood. Some of you might be afraid, but the thing you have to understand about this is we're not alone. We have labor unions already that have supported this. The teachers, the nurses, the taxi drivers, hotel workers, electrical workers. We have community organizations, bus drivers. We have Mass Uniting, Jobs with Justice. We have City Life Vida Urbana. We have Union of Minority Neighborhoods, all kinds of community organizations supporting us. So I say let's do it. Let's occupy the hood. Let's bring tents. Let's bring people. Let's bring food. Let's bring medical and legal resources. Occupy Boston and Dewey Square stands in solidarity with this, and will help anybody who wants to occupy the hood for real. Let's stir it up. I'll put my tent down, you put yours, we'll bring them in, and let's get it started. Thank you very much. Y también quisiera hablar un poquito de español. Tenemos latinos aquí, pero vámonos juntos. Ocupa el barrio, vámonos.
All right. I want to remind you all, tomorrow,